This video is Lost Part 22. It is the Season 1 finale. So it is Exodus Part 2. And in the last part, the boat was launched and everyone was cheering and clapping and yay. And then off in the distance, the black smoke was still rising, saying that the others were coming. At the beginning of this part, Claire is having trouble with her baby. Like, he's crying and she doesn't know what to do, and she's tired and whatever, and people are leaving to go to the caves. Now that the boat is launched, Saeed's telling people go to the caves. And so Charlie comes along and is like offering to help her, and you know, she's like all like crazy and like, I'm sorry, Charlie, I don't know what to do with the baby, and I can't, and I have to carry all my stuff and whatever. Okay, back in the jungle at the Black Rock, remember, they found that the Black Rock was a ship. Danielle decides to leave. She's gonna go back wherever. And Locke's like, you know, just let her go. Who cares? I'll lead us back to the hatch. So Locke and Jack and Kate are in there, and they get the dynamite. And Locke and Jack carry out this, like, case of dynamite. Well, not case, but like a box. And Arst is going crazy, like, oh, what the hell are you people doing? Oh my God, set that down, be careful, like, you know, like, get away from there. And he comes over and he opens the box. So the sticks of dynamite, they've got like stuff on them, like the nitroglycerin on them, and anyways. So Arst proceeds to like gently take one out and tells them, you know, like, it's really, really unstable, and you have to be careful with handling it. He asks Kate to like take off her shirt. He dips that in like muddy water and wraps the dynamite up and tells him, you know, like, we're only going to take as much as we need because it's really, really unstable. And then all of a sudden, Arst blows up. Like, there's like little chunks of Arst like falling on top of them. Okay, so they decide after Arst blows up, okay, we're not going to do that. Okay, so they decide what they're going to do is they're going to take 6 sticks of dynamite. They're going to take 3 in one pack and 3 in another. And it ends up that Locke and Kate are going to carry those backpacks. Back at the beach, Charlie is with Claire trying to get her ready to move her to the cave. And then out of the jungle, Danielle comes running and says, I need to talk to Saeed. I need to talk to Saeed. And she tells Charlie, you know, like, don't argue with me, just go get him. So Charlie takes off. And then suddenly Danielle is, like, watching Claire and the baby, and she's like, oh, you know, like, what's his name? And Claire's like, I don't have a name for the baby yet, and please just get away from me, because you're really scary. Like, all of a sudden, Claire realizes, Danielle has these little scratches on her arm. Remember, Claire's had amnesia this whole time about, like, what happened to her when she was taken, that long period of time that she was missing before she gave birth to the baby. All of a sudden, something clicked in her mind, and she remembers scratching her. And she's like, why did I scratch you? And so it's like, oh my gosh, what did Danielle ever do to Claire? And meanwhile, out on the water, the raft is drifting and sailing. On the mast, they have a sail now attached, and so the wind is blowing them along. Like, the rudder that they're using to steer the ship or something, like, it broke and took off in the water. And then Sawyer eventually saved it. So there's not really much going on the raft just yet. Back at the beach, Claire was screaming. Son's trying to help her because she was hit on the back of the head, assumedly by Russo, and took the baby. And she's like, get my baby, get Aaron back. I guess she had it in her head. She names the baby Aaron. So Charlie decides, I'm going to get this bitch. And he and Saeed decide to take off and go after her. Because of one of the traps that Danielle set so that she wouldn't be followed, Charlie gets, like, injured, but Saeed fixes him. And then they finally get to the place where the black smoke is coming from. It's this big, like, bowl, and has this fire, and this is where the black smoke is then coming from. See, black smoke. And they get there, and there's no one around. Saeed hears Aaron crying off in the distance, and so he knows that Danielle's nearby. she's crying, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, and I heard them say that they wanted the child." And she says, "I heard them say they were coming for the boy." And obviously they didn't mean this boy. So Locke and Kate and Jack and Hurley are walking in the jungle and pretend that they're wearing backpacks. And actually Kate and Jack are the first ones down like this little like hill. And then they look off in the distance this way, and they see this little like trail of smoke fly through the jungle real quick. And lo and behold, the monster, this black smoke, you finally get to see it on screen for the first time, appears. They both put their packs down, because obviously they don't want to blow up. They both put their packs down, and then these three take off running. But Locke, just kind of stick around to see what happens. Well, the monster, like, gets him. At first he was all going to stay, and then like he got afraid or whatever, and then he fell down. So then the monster started dragging him back this way. Okay, so this is the whole. I'm keeping it there so that you know that it's like present. But the monster's like went down in the hole and was dragging Locke back into it with him. And so the monster's like down in here. Jack is thinking, like Locke is crazy, and like he's like trying to like keep John from going into the hole. And then he tells Kate to go get dynamite out of one of the packs, and then take a stick of dynamite and then throw it into the hole so that the monster will let him go. And then, like, there's an explosion, and Locke is free. And then he comes back up out. The people on the raft. Saeed fixed, a couple of things for them to use on the raft. There was some radar equipment or something that he stole from the plane that Boone died in. Their monitors, like down here or something. And he also gave Michael the flare gun that he found in the plane, and it only has one flare. Suddenly they get a little beep on their little radar, because the beep on the radar is starting to like go away from them. He finally decides to go ahead and send up the flare. So what ends up happening is there's this other boat. And they're all happy because they think they've been rescued. And then there's this man on the boat. He's not so friendly, but we'll call him Mr. Friendly for now. He's like, "We want the boy." And he's like, "We ain't giving you anyone." And so there's this big fight. And so they get real close up to the raft. And Sawyer tries to shoot one of them, and then they shoot Sawyer, and he falls into the water. Jin dives in after him. While that's happening, they grab Walt and take him over to the boat and get into a fight with Michael and then knock him off the boat like this. Sawyer and Jin are out in the water somewhere. They have Walt on the back of the boat, and they're taking off. And as they take off, they throw some little explosive something onto the raft. The raft blows up. That's what happens to the raft. Okay, so Hurley and Locke and Jack and Kate all make it back to the hatch safely. And then they put the dynamite on the little, it's like a little door or a window that's on the top of the hatch. And so they're going to blow it up. Hurley sees on the side where there were the numbers, but that's supposed to be 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42. And he thinks the numbers are cursed, and so they've already lit the fuse, right? And then it's going. And he's all trying to put it out, and it's like, "No, the numbers are bad, the numbers are bad, the numbers are bad." And so everyone takes cover. Should erase them really quickly. And they stop Hurley from making the fuse go out. And then there is an explosion. And then Jack and Locke decide that they're going to be the ones that look in, right? So they look in. They're looking down into the hatch, and so you have to see that this is the camera looking up from the inside of the hatch. They're looking down this way. Locke and Jack look in, and all they see is just emptiness and a ladder that goes down into this area where it's just, they can't even see because it's so dark. So what's down here? No one knows. And that, my friends, is how Lost Season 1 ends.